Okay, if you're joining us in this series, we are in Hosea. We're starting from Hosea 4 if you want to get ahead of us, but it's worth recapping briefly where we are in the story. It's placed about 150 years before Israel is beaten up and taken off into exile. There's two different exiles that happens, and this is about 150 years before the first by the Assyrians. It's actually the first book in the minor prophets, Hosea, but it's not the first book chronologically. We think it's probably Amos or maybe, I'm running from my head, I think it's Joel, or maybe Obadiah. Anyway, it's not Hosea, which is interesting that we put it first in our list. But all the themes that Hosea are going to draw out through his story and through the words of the Lord are going to just be repeated ad nauseum through the prophets. It's really going to set the scene for us. And so the key theme in that is this tension between God as Israel's sort of pseudo-husband, pseudo-father on one hand, and how he wants to love and pour out grace and mercy and provision on this people that he calls his own, this people that he's got a real tying his heart cry for. And on the other side, though, is God's justice and his words and his promises and this covenant that he made with this people, that he said, if you love me and if you follow me, then you'll see huge blessing come upon you, and this land will be yours. But if you refuse to follow me, if you are ignorant, if you walk your own way, you will find that I will walk away from you. And this is just the tension of this book. What does God do when God's people don't look like him? It's the whole point of the Old Testament, is looking for a people that look like him, that say, this is what our God is like, and you will see him as you come and talk with us. This is why we do church. As we try and do church, what we want to do is look like Jesus, so that people go, that's what he's like. Well, what does God do when his people don't look like him? And so the theme of the last two chapters that we read, or three chapters, is this: God is promising that he's about to act. It's going to do something that is going to cause Israel to wake up, to have this moment of clarity forced upon them and a decision point for them about what they're going to do. And this is the way that God is going to act is going to bring a lot of heartache and a lot of pain. But interwoven with these warnings are these glimmers of hope. And if you remember, it's like you read a whole bunch of, you're in a lot of trouble, and then all of a sudden the story flips and there's a whole bunch of hope. And then it's only a glimpse and you go right back into, no, you guys are in serious trouble. And all of this told through the story of Hosea and his unfaithful wife, which you can read in chapters 1 and 3. But as we turn to chapter 4, Hosea's wife Gomer, she will not appear through the rest of the story. We're not now dealing with Gomer. We are now just dealing with Israel. And everything that follows is about them and what they have done. And what they've done so far has been a bit like a friend that I'm sure you and I have, and I hope that I'm not that sort of friend, who, as you go through life, you every now and then, like, your phone rings, and you look at it, and you go, oh my goodness, why are you calling me? Well, and you're like, oh man. So you answer the phone, you're like, oh man, I haven't talked to you in like 9 months. How are you going? It's so good to hear from you. Tell me a story. Let me tell you my story. And he's so excited to catch up. And very quickly in the conversation, you begin to realize that the reason they've called you is because they actually want something from you and not because they actually wanted to talk to you. And you're like, okay, I get it. I help you out. You're in a sticky situation. Let me help you out, whether it's financial, whether it's some advice, whatever it is. I'm here to help you. And so you do this thing, and then you're like, hey, man, we should get coffee. Let's like actually catch up. It's been such a long time. They're like, yeah. But you don't organize something, and you hang up, and it's been a week, it's been a month, it's been a year, maybe 2 years, and then the phone rings, and you go, oh my goodness, yes. Oh, we were supposed to do that. And so you answer, how you going, man? And you realize very quickly, again, the world has collapsed in upon them, and it's you who they're looking to save them. And time after time, when they call, it's just because they want something from you. This is the story of Israel with God, who time after time get themselves in a whole heap of trouble, realize that they're being conquered by an enemy, there's a threat coming, and it's, oh God, we need you, oh God, we love you, and we'll follow you, and we'll serve you, and we'll do everything look how far we've strayed, God, but we're coming back, we're going to make it right. And so God comes in a mighty way, and he acts, raises up someone to lead them out of that place. And they go, yes, here we go, let's go back to the law. But within a generation, it's all gone astray. It's years, decades before they call out to God again, and they say, God, we found ourselves in trouble again. And this is the story of Israel. For 1,200 years, they've strayed, and then they've prayed. But in amongst them, there seems to be this small group of people. It's like we talk about a remnant. It's like just a few people in there that have got it, that have realized that there's actually a real opportunity there, and they live in a really different light. And we see many of them in the Psalms. These people who are just, they're just desperate to know God. Like it's not even anything. It's just, I want to experience what you're like, God. To learn about him, and not just head knowledge. I don't want to just read your law, but actually I want to hear what you think about things. I want to sit down and wrestle with you. I want to speak to you face to face. And there's this beautiful psalm that David prays, which is a wonderful example of it. In Psalm 63, and David's on the run, and he's on the road, and he's crying out to God on the run from Saul. But despite all of his problems and everything that's going wrong in his life, it's God, you are my God, and earnestly I seek you. I thirst for you. My whole body longs for you because your love is better than life. And so my lips will glorify you. Moses, in one of his, probably his greatest moment, he stands on top of Mount Sinai, and the people have just made the golden calf, and he's just realized what a train wreck this is, and he's headed up the hill, and he says, God, don't blot their name out, blot my name out. Forgive them and deal with me as you would with them. It's this wonderful picture of what Jesus is going to do one day, and it's probably Moses' highest point. In there, he prays, if you are pleased with me, teach me your ways that I may know you. My heart's cried at all. Teach me your ways, because what I really want is I want to know you. I want to know what you're like. Centuries later, Paul picks up in Philippians this idea of considering everything else. The word is rubbish or garbage, or probably a harsher word than rubbish and garbage that you can't say when you're in a church. But everything is like that because of the surpassing worth of just knowing Christ Jesus, my Lord. And all of these themes are picked up by Jeremiah and Isaiah and Ezekiel, and we're going to see them here in Hosea as well. So we'll read chapter 4, and what we're going to do is quite a long chapter, and we're going to end up in chapter 6. So we'll just sort of touch down at a few points. But if you've got it open, you can flick a bit easier, or you can, if you've been reading along with us, some of this will stand out. Okay, hear the word of the Lord, you Israelites, because the Lord has a charge to bring against you who live in the land. There's no faithfulness, there's no love, there's no acknowledgement of God in the land. There's only cursing, lying, murder, stealing, and adultery. They break all bounds, and bloodshed follows bloodshed. Because of this, the land dries up, and all who live in it waste away. The beasts of the field, the birds in the sky, and the fish in the sea are swept away. When they say bring charges, we talked about this last week. This is courtroom language. God has dragged Israel into court, and God is also, he's the prosecutor, but more concerningly for Israel, he's also the judge and the jury who's going to decide their fate. And he says, these are the charges that I'm going to bring against you. So stand up and defend yourself. Explain to me your actions. You would have noticed this if you're paying attention in there. You've got cursing, lying, murder, stealing, and adultery. And murder, stealing, and adultery are 3 of the 10 commandments. And he links them all together, trying to help you see that this is much broader than these 5 things. They have not just done these 5 things, but what they've done is failed to do the law. The law that is it's like their marriage contract. It's like the deal they made when they got married and said, you'll be my God and we'll be your people. This is the deal we made. And God says, you have failed to uphold your end of the deal. And then in the immediate moments after we're caught, and I know none of you are like this, but I'm like this. And when you're caught often and you're like red-handed, like the hands in the cookie jar, the first thing that we do as a humanity, we pass the buck. We try and pass the blame. We did it at the tree at the start, and we've done it every day since, trying to explain that it's not actually my fault. It's not me. It's the system. It's more than me. He told me to do it. She told me to. I'll do it. And God picks up on this. Oh, I haven't got it there. I apologize. He picks up on this in verse 5. He says, don't accuse one another. This is you, and this is all of you, and no one is innocent in this. Don't point at someone else. Don't pretend that you're innocent. This is you, and this is me, and we are all on trial here. Israel, what are you going to say? And so verse 12, we poke along. And he brings yet more charges to them. My people consult a wooden idol. A diviner's rod speaks to them. A spirit of prostitution leads them astray. They are unfaithful to their God. They sacrifice on the mountaintops and burn offerings on the hill under oak, poplar, and terebinth, where the shade is pleasant. It's familiar language if you've been reading with us. It's really common through the first 3 chapters, this picture of unfaithfulness. Again, we're picking up on that. We've got to remember who's preaching this, right? Hosea is preaching this, who's told, go and marry an unfaithful woman. Go and find someone who is not going to be faithful to you. He's going to go and sleep with a lot of other guys. And when you feel that heartbreak, then come and talk to Israel about the way they've been unfaithful to me. Then with your broken heart on full display, you can tell them what it feels like when the one that you love walks away at any other person that they can. You'll be able to speak into them like no one else can. Preach out of this emotion, like feel it, and then make them feel it. And it sort of climaxes around here in verse 16 with this just really despairing truth about the stubbornness of Israel. They're like a cow that just will not go the way that you want it to. You drag it and you push it and you pull it and it just won't go. What do you do then? This is like the central problem of Israel. What do you do when they just will not listen? It's like every now and then you get in a debate with someone and you try and understand the way that they see, but you're like, hey, the problem is this block is red. And then you hold up the red block and you're like, this block is red. That's the key problem. And they look at it and they look you in the eyes and say, you don't understand. That's a purple block. And you're like, no, that's like this. It's a red block. Like that's just is red. Everyone knows that. And they're like, no. It's a purple block, and that's the problem. And you're like, how do you work from this? If we can't get this like core bit down, if we can't work out this bit, how are we supposed to do anything else? How are we supposed to make peace with one another when we can't even make the first step together? And it's sort of, I think it's sort of where God is now. Like he's sitting there going, what do you want me to do? Like you tell me, I'll bring you all these charges. I'll tell you how stubborn you have been through your history, and you tell me what I'm supposed to do next. Because there's a point, like when you talk with your children and you say, like, what do I have to do to make you listen to me? It's the point where God is now. So chapter 5 opens, and it's just all the same problems. Israel just chasing after any other god that passes by, as if salvation can be found in them, as if provision can be found in them, and as if they're what God looks like in the world. Even in verse 12, no longer do they turn to God for help, but they start turning to the king of Assyria, who are like the baddest of bad guys. They're just woeful. Their morals are in the toilet. Like it's a disaster. And they go, well, who's going to help us? Well, they'll probably help us. If we go to them, then we'll find that maybe they'll be able to help us. And all they do, in fact, is come and enslave them in the years that are to come. But woven through all of these chapters and all these, it's like divine heartbreak. It's this one common theme that he just keeps coming back to. There's no faithfulness. There's no love. The word is to know. No one knows who God is in this land. No one knows who he is. They all know of God. They've memorized his stories. They've got that down. They know what he did then. But it's just like that friend who calls you once in a blue moon. They don't know you. They're not calling to get to know you. They're not calling to find out how you are. They're calling because they want something. And the harsh truth of all of this really is, I don't think Israel ever really wanted to know him. Not as a nation. Not with any consistency. God had a place in their lives, and that place was, he's the guy I pray to when everything's going wrong. That's his role. The sad reality is, that's not too far from where we often find ourselves now. If God be in this place, where I've got myself in trouble and I need you to come and save me. God makes it clear where all of this is going to end up. And what he does is he flips the language of creation and turns it around. If you remember Genesis 2, that the land is a wilderness and the water starts popping up everywhere. Well, now there's going to be no more water. I'm going to take that water away. It's going to dry up. And those who live in it will waste away. In Genesis 1, the beasts of the field, the birds of the sky, the fish in the sea, he fills his creation with these things. And now, instead of filling them, he's going to take it away. What he's talking about is, I'm going to uncreate you. I'm going to undo creation to the point where you no longer have a place to live. You would just end up in the wilderness. Life for you would just be a desert. And so this is what this is verse 3, and everything just flows out of that for the next 2 chapters of God is going to bring this whirlwind of justice and judgment. You cannot sit by anymore. God is going to bring an action against them. But as you read it, and you read chapter 4 and you read chapter 5, and once again you get down to this pit of like, oh my goodness, what are you going to do? As God says, like chapter 5 ends with like, there's a whirlwind coming. Like it's you're going to get hit by this. And then chapter 6 hits us, and it's again another one of these whiplash things. And it says, come, let us return to the Lord. He's torn us to pieces, but he'll heal us. He's injured us, but he'll bind up our wounds. After 2 days, he'll revive us. On the 3rd day, little wink to our New Testament friends there, he will restore us, and that we may live in his presence. So let us know the Lord. Let us press on to know him. As surely as the sun rises, he'll appear. He will come to us like the winter rains and like the spring rains that water the earth. It's like we see this picture of a faithful people finally coming out and saying the things that they're supposed to say, recognizing their need to return to God. It's him who brought it upon us. It's him who can heal us. It'll be him who binds up our wounds. And so come, let us know him. Let's press on. Let's fight. Let's persevere that we might know him. Let's chase after him, who is just like the morning sun and the beautiful rains that come and bring the provision that we need. It's such hope and faith off the back of this really, really dark and heavy poem. The problem is, once again, we turn the page and verse 4 goes, what could I do with you, Ephraim? Ephraim is the biggest tribe in Israel. Israel has split Israel and Judah now. It's how he's going to talk about Israel from now on. What can I do with you, Israel? What can I do with you, Judah? Your love is like the morning mist. It's like the early dew that just disappears. And what you realize, or what I've come to realize, is all these words, these aren't Israel's words. This is God impersonating Israel. This is God telling them, these are the things that you say. This is what you do. You come out and you say that you're going to get it right this time, that you're going to actually give me my heart, like give me your heart. Like you're going to get it right. Like you're going to, let's acknowledge him. Let's go and find him. Let's go and learn him. Let's go and know him. But the truth, the sad reality is, it's like the morning mist. You say these words as the morning comes up, and by the time you hit 8 o'clock, it's like it doesn't even matter. And if you weren't there to see it, you wouldn't even know it was there. This is the hope that God had been holding on to, that Israel would finally turn. That they'd make these great promises, these statements of faith. But what's it actually worth? It culminates in verse 6, and I don't actually have it, I don't think, which is quite annoying. I apologize. Verse 6. I read it in the NLT. I found it really helpful. It says, "For I want you to show love and not offer sacrifices. I want you to know me more than I want burnt offerings. I want you to show love, not offer sacrifices. I want you to know me more than I want burnt offerings." Every now and then, as you sit and write sermons and you think, you just get to a point and you go, "What? Is that not it? What more is there to say when God says, I want you to know me more than anything you bring to me? Do we actually need to, like, there's not much you can exegete out of there. It's not like a clever play that you can do. It's just, I want you to know me more than the things you can bring for me. I think all we can do is pray. God, would this be my story? Would this be our story as a community? A community that just wants to know you, God, that chases after you. A community that wants to love the things that you love, that has the heart for the things that you have a heart for. Isn't that what we want to be as a group? But if we reflect a moment and just reframe it into our own context, we talk about it a lot, and we have talked about it through this series and even in some of the last as well. God doesn't want what you can do for him. It's not what he's after. He's God. He's got it all already. He's not sitting there going, oh my goodness. I just went to men's camp and it was wonderful. We had a really good time. I meant to show you a picture, but I forgot to put it up. Louis can put a picture if you want. I tell you what, I'm the least capable person there by a distance, like a huge distance. When I go there, I need people like Phil, who taught me the last time he came, and do you remember you fixed the office door with a rivet gun? I didn't even know what a rivet gun was. Like, that's how I was like, now I have a rivet gun, which is great. And I get to do when I say I do the riveting myself, I get Cam then to come and help me do the riveting, which I really appreciate, Cam, because now my camper van has a door handle on it. And I was telling this story for a reason. The reason, right, is I don't want Phil because he can come and fix my van. I want to come and hang out with Phil because he's Phil. And it's really great. It was such a blessing to have you two back with us. It's just a joy. We've missed you. That's what I want it to be like with God. God is my provider. He is my protector. He is my shield, my fortress, my refuge. It's him whose wings that we hide under, sheltering from everything that life is going to throw at us. But I don't want God for the things that he gives me. I just want God because he's God. There's this wrestle of, do you want the gift or the giver? Do I want the things that God can give me, or do I want just God? Because God just wants our heart. Just wants our heart. We'll read this psalm. Sorry, can you put the psalm up for me? Thank you, Lord. We'll read this one in a moment. It's how we're going to finish. This psalm was written in a desert place where there was no water, where David is on the run for his life, scared. There is like a very, very real threat on his life, not just from Saul, who's chasing him with an army of men just to kill him, but also the threat of, what if I don't find water over the next few days? What if there's no food here? What do I do then? And yet this psalm, he just thirsts for God's presence with him. He's just desperate for him. And it's not what God is going to give him. It's not the provision that it's just, I want you. It's this idea, do you remember we talk about hit halakking? Halakking is, again, I walk to the shops, and when I get there, my children hit halak all over the shops, and it's a pain. That's what God's looking for, is just to go and wander, to be with you, to walk with no purpose other than just to hang out, not to get anything, not to go anywhere, not to be anywhere, not to solve any problems, but just to be together. That's what God is looking for, not what you can bring him, not what you can do. Just your heart. And it's easy, right? to feel that in this moment. What we've done is now, 5:05, and we've just spent an hour together, really intentionally coming, singing, praying, encouraging one another, listening to his word, reading and reflecting upon it. And it's pretty normal at this point, I'd hope, that you would sit there and go, actually, there's a stirring in my heart of, God, I actually want this. God, I actually want to give you my heart. I want to be able to focus on you. I want to be able to do that more and more and more. And the hard part is on Tuesday morning, right, when you found out that there's no milk in the fridge, and so you're desperately searching everywhere for something that will substitute for milk in cereal that will still not make it awful to eat, and then you end up likely just eating a bowl of like dry cereal and going, what's wrong with my life? At that point, right, you don't have the time to sit there and for an hour go, you know what, I'm just going to sit and praise and sing and pray, and I'm going to call someone else and get them to encourage me, and then I'm going to sit and read my Bible, and then I'm going to walk away really encouraged to go and do this bit. I just don't have time for that unless you're retired. Asterisk. Thanks, retired people. You tell me how busy you are. I don't believe you. Ryan? Side note, you can tell me in 5 years when I retire. How do I do this on a Tuesday? Authentic relationships take time. When the girl or guy of your dreams either came into your life or comes into your life, I tell you, you're going to know what it means to be like, oh my goodness, I actually have to prioritize this. Because you actually want to chase them. You got to make room for them. You want to get to know them. You find a way. If it's important to you, you find a way to do it. You call them on the way to work. You call them on the way home. You go and organize a coffee. You say, I won't go to that so I can do this instead. If you want it, you have to search for it. You have to have this attitude, this thirst, this desire, this above everything else. Even though I'm thirsty, hungry, whatever, what I need more than food and water, God, is you. But here's the thing. All the prophets are convinced, but especially Jeremiah is convinced that you and I cannot do this by ourselves. The only person who can give you a heart like this is God himself. To take these hearts of stone that we walk around that have gone cold and hard instead of soft and full of his compassion and spirit. But God's promise is that if this is what you want, if this is what you seek, this is what you will find. And the more you chase after him, the more you place him first, the more that you wait, the more that you say, God, would you transform me, the more that he will. And the more that he will meet you in these places, and the more that you will see and look back and see how changed you are. And so as we turn to communion, I'm just going to read this and let it just be a prayer for me, and maybe it's a prayer for you as well and for our community, and that this would be our words, that this would be our heart. That wherever we find ourselves, maybe you're sitting on the mountain and you're like, man, this is just wonderful. I've had the best week of my life. Maybe you're in the real valley and hard place. Garden, wilderness, somewhere in between. If you're anything like me, it seems to change about every 3 hours. But wherever we are, would this be our prayer? From the seas of chaos to the confidence we have in him. Would this be our heart cry this afternoon? Psalm 63. You, God, are my God, and earnestly I seek you. I thirst for you, and my whole being longs for you. Even in a dry and parched land where there is no water. I have seen you in the sanctuary and beheld your power and your glory. Because your love is better than life. My lips will glorify you. So I will praise you as long as I live, and in your name I will lift up my hands. I will be fully satisfied as with the richest of foods, and with singing lips my mouth will praise you. And on my bed, at the end of the day, I will remember you. And I will think of you through the watches of the night. For you are my help. And I sing in the shadow of your wings. I cling to you, and your right hand upholds me. Amen? Try that again. Amen? Oh, good. Come. Take communion as this. God, this be my prayer.